Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. If you want to join me in my daily live streams, I do stream twice a day. It is on my Good Free Photos channel, and that will actually be linked in the description as well as the comments. And also, I have another crypto channel. It's called Crypto Daily Updates, and that will also be linked in the description and the comments. And that'll encapsulate all the day's great crypto news into one video, one short video. So you want to get all your news for the day in one video, check that out. But now we're going to focus on VeChain Toolchain. We're going to dispel some of the FUD around TCC and the Toolchain credits and what that is. And we're going to explain why Toolchain is actually necessary. Now, there are a lot of great businesses that want the advantages and value of blockchain, but they don't want to develop directly on the blockchain. They want an interface system or a software distribution model. And that's what VeChain Toolchain actually is. It's designed to drive mass adoption onto VeChain Thor. Toolchain is basically an SaaS type application for easy adoption, and that stands for Software as a Service, which is a software distribution model. And like I said, a lot of businesses aren't ready to develop directly on the blockchain, so they use this kind of gateway to actually develop applications they need on the blockchain. And Toolchain is not something that's directly sold by VeChain. They work on the technology. It's generally sold by their big partners, Deloitte and PwC, to their enterprise clients that actually need a blockchain solution. It is tailored towards, Toolchain 4.0 is directly tailored towards Deloitte and PwC as well. It's a lot for their auditing purposes and to secure data, and they offer it to their enterprise clients. Now, a lot of the controversy has been swirling around TCC, which is Toolchain credits. It is not a crypto. It's basically created to get around regulations. It basically is VTOR, and in fact, when companies actually write to the blockchain with TCC Toolchain credits, they actually convert it to VTHOR in the backend. So essentially, it's another unit that sort of represents VTHOR, but it's not really a crypto or VTHOR. And when you actually use it to write data, it gets converted into VTHOR. So burning TCC is the same thing as burning VTHOR. And you actually have to have the VTHOR to use the TCC. So the more TCC that gets used, the better it is, the more VTHOR we burn, and the better it is for VeChain. I mean, it is kind of it is a big regulatory hurdle just to directly use VTHOR, but with TCC around, it's not really that, it gets around a lot of those compliance issues because now you're using a token that's not a crypto and that's, more compliant, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how the regulations work in this field, but TCC lets them get around a lot of this legal BS in whichever country they're actually in. So it's created solely to get around regulations, and it actually represents VTHOR. So this is how it works. Businesses buy the TCC. TCC gets used, and it's actually used to pay for transactions. And then on the blockchain, TCC is actually converted into VTHOR on the backend, and then they burn that VTHOR to actually do the transactions. So technically, when they're buying TCC, they are just buying another representation of VTHOR because you actually need to burn the VTHOR to actually use the TCC. And of course, that makes VET worth more because if you have VET, you get free generation of VTHOR. The more TCC that's actually used, obviously, the more VTHOR that'll be burned, and the better it is for VeChain. Now, companies can actually hold VET to generate VTHOR, but if they run out of that generated VTHOR, they will actually have to buy on the market, and that's how the price of VTHOR goes up. The price of VTHOR should be related to the price of VET. It should be almost a linear relationship. And I do think as the price of VTHOR goes up, VET will go up. Because essentially, you just almost treat it as like a staking reward or a dividend, basically. And if your dividend's worth more, the thing that's generating the dividend is obviously going to be worth a lot more. So that's how it works. Now, TCC does not truly exempt business from buying VET or VTHOR. It's just another representation of VTHOR, a non-crypto representation of VTHOR, like a token, to get around regulations. It's how like Ripple created another company called like XRP2, that just basically generated 99 billion XRP and then gifted it to themselves. It's the same legal BS generally. It's basically like creating another representation so you don't have to deal with the legal stuff. I don't know if it's going to work in the end. I think it does. Their lawyers say it does. But just like Ripple, just like Ripple's going through the lawsuit right now, not really sure how VeChain is going to work in that manner. But it actually is just another representation of VTHOR. When you actually use TCC, it gets converted into VTHOR, and you actually need VTHOR to use TCC. So that's how the whole ecosystem works. Of course, Deloitte, PwC, and others like Platform X are successfully actually pushing it to their enterprise clients. We know many toy manufacturers are using it, and we know people are using it for like carbon credits and verifying car parts with it as well. So it's a necessary, like toolchain is a necessary API or interface to get people actually to develop on VeChain, because a lot of companies don't want to deal with directly developing on VeChain. And PwC and Deloitte do give support for people who are actually using toolchain, and they are pushing it to a lot of VeChain enterprise customers. So that's how it works. And that is the episode for today. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.